set up to do the calves into the horse trailer. Heifers, gotta call them heifers now. Heifers are successfully installed in the field again. We'll hope that without Mimsy, their ringleader, they'll stay contained. Hurry up and get the fence on! I was trying to test it. Four, 3.9, 4.2, 1.7. Why is that hot? Huh. I've got to try and get an antenna up at the peak of the barn. I can do it from inside, so I don't have to try and extend a ladder all the way up. Only about halfway. But the problem is, my ladder is in the middle of this snowbank. It's incredibly bright out. I'm squinting. So I am here trying to excavate out the ladder so that I can use it. Probably a couple weeks before we actually need this thing. The antenna being up there and everything hooked up, but it's going to take me that long to, I mean, even if by some miracle I actually get the antenna mounted today, I still have to then attach the antenna to the sending unit, and then I have to find power to power the sending unit. So that's all several days, bits and pieces of work. I don't know exactly where I'm going to get the power, how I'm going to route it, what I'm going to do with it. I have to get the antenna up, and then everything flows from there. Fortunately, the antenna is separate from the unit, the sending unit. I thought they were one and the same because on some models online I've seen they are one and the same. Thankfully, they're not. And I can put the antenna out remotely on the side of the building and have the unit inside. Now, this is for the Wi-Fi enabled cows. And so it has to be within sight of the barn where they spend most of their time, but also it should reach out into the main field and certainly partway down the hill, and then all environs around here. But they since they come back to the parlor twice a day anyway, for milking pretty much year round, or they're captive here in the barns over winter, where I'm putting the antenna should be fine. Perfect. I have extricated the ladder from the snowbank. I will not be bringing it up into the barn. Right now I'm going to put out in the sun. It's just 33 degrees Fahrenheit today, so if I put it in the sun on the asphalt, it should melt all the snow off. I won't be bringing that up into the loft. And I'll move on to finding some way to get power to this sending unit. Like I said, today it's not really a priority. It's the middle of the afternoon. I could be doing anything. I probably should be working on the heating system, but this has to be done. So when they say, and give me a date to come, I can say, yeah, it's all set, let's go. Because I know the closer to March we get, and today's the 13th, Friday the 13th of February. So I know the closer to March we get, the busier I will be. And they're talking about coming maybe the 27th of February or something like that. And I just know that it could start getting busy here. Between getting ready for the calves to be born, the heating system going, because it'll be warmer by then. I have to get it going. Modifying the barns, cleaning up for spring cleanup and things like that. Well, as the days start getting warmer, and they're beautiful right now, I'm starting to feel a lot of pressure. I've got work to do in the forest and fencing. So these are all things. I've got a bit of excavator to do, and I'd like to burn some brush piles too before the snow all melts. So these things will start impacting my time now. The weather's going to start being a little bit more cooperative. Moving bales around. Gonna put the cows out in the field for a little bit today, even though the fences are dead. I'm hoping that a decent bale, one of my late first cut silage bales will be okay out in the field for them. I'm going to bring them that out in the field. I'm going to run a bale for bedding down, even though I'm planning on getting a load of shavings delivered this week. I need something probably won't happen. That won't happen until midweek, so I'll call tomorrow about it. So I need something to bed them tonight and tomorrow night for sure. So I'm gonna run I guess I'll just run one of these late first cut bales down there for bedding. They'll eat what they want, they'll bed on the rest. And then I gotta run a bale down for tonight's feed because they're almost out of silage, so I'll run a decent silage bale down to them, and then I'll probably have to probably should put a bale out in the field for the heifers, keep them occupied. They're almost done with what they got. I could probably leave it, I might just leave it for another day or so. I don't want to get too far ahead. They're not eating it as fast as I was thinking they might, certainly with Mimsy not there. They're not eating it as fast. The cows have stopped and started rejecting the second cut Labrie bale. It's mostly hay, to be honest, so they're not eating that. I guess I went too far. I gotta be careful because this is pure snow out here. I was gonna unwrap this bale in the farmyard, but I guess I'm halfway out to the field now, so might as well just get out here. I figured I'd run the tractor and a bale out here. There might be a partial bale in the ring, but I wanted the tractor to pack down a little bit of a path for the cows, and I've got to come out here and check the fence anyway. Oh, right, I put a hot wire across the line here. I better go deal with that. Yeah, so I gotta check the fence, make sure it's up, at least as a visual barrier. I don't think the cows are gonna wanna pressure and get out. Could always be wrong about that, but they're mostly good kids. They'll be more interested in coming out here just for a walk in the sunshine and get out there. And then I gotta clean the barn. It's been frozen for so long, and last time I tried to clean it, I couldn't clean it. And then there was all that time with ice or outside the barn that the cows, I just wasn't gonna let the cows out. So it's built up. There's been some layers of hay and bedding material put in there to help them, not just have manure. And then they're fortunately this year, the cows are sticking to the bedded area for bedding. So the rest is, they have to walk across it, and it's kind of cloddy and lumpy because of the amount of manure there, and the fact that it's just been frozen solid. But now it's starting to thaw out a bit, so I should be able to clean it really well. And going forward, as long as we don't get a ton of rain and this becomes soupy out here, I should be able to, I guess I could always feed the cows on the stone. I should be able to keep on top of the barn now, and certainly if I get a load of shavings. I think we're out of the worst of the winter and the deep cold and the constant frozen. I mean, the problem with scraping the barn in that barn in the depth of winter like that, when it is this cold, I could clean it at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and then cows be in there overnight, and the floor is just coated with frozen manure that's impossible or next to impossible to scrape the next morning. So in current configuration, I'm doing the best I can, and we're getting through the winter. Now that it's thawing out, I can definitely be able to keep more on top of it. And also, if I get a load of shavings or two, now that the sawmill's truck is fixed. I mean, that's been the big holdup, is they haven't been able to. I could either get a semi-load of shavings for a really good price, but I don't have anywhere to store a semi-load. even if I were to fill the barn full of shavings and make it 2 feet deep, I would still have more than I needed at one go. So the next size down is a 5 cord truck, they call it, and it's been broken. So finally it's fixed, and I can now, for weeks, I've been waiting. I've called, I don't know, back in end of December, beginning of January, and here it is, it's mid to end of February. So finally that's done, and I can get an appropriate size load delivered, and that'll be way better. Well, I can't remember. I can't remember the last time the cow's been out in snow this. I can't remember the last time the cow's been out in snow this deep. We'll see. What the hell happened there? We'll see how they do. It'll be a while. We gotta get them milked. And I gotta get ready to clean the barn out. Yeah, it's deep out here. But already, with what, we're in our 4th or 5th day of sunshine and at or above freezing temperatures. So the snowpack is definitely settling in and shrinking, which is great. I do need to consider burning some brush and getting rid of some piles of old building material and stuff while there's still snow on the ground, and I can burn during the daytime. Otherwise, you got to burn overnight by law, and that makes for a long, cold day at this time of year. Well, we're supposed to have a high of 36 today. It is only 23 right now, and the wind would cut you in half. It would. And I was hoping that by now I could stop using hoses and my spare line out of the barn down to the water trough will work. But there must just be a slight plug of ice in it, because water will drip out of the faucet, but it's not coming in any volume enough to water the cow. So I'm just leaving it alone. I'm waiting. Next week, here was Sunday today, I think by Tuesday we're going to be in the 40s, I hope. I think that's, I'll have to look again, but then it should run. And then I can do away with bringing hoses in and out of the downstairs bathroom. That'd be so nice. All right, we're going to let the cows out. I do not know what they're going to do. I hope they don't go wild. The fences are not hot because of the escapee heifers, I've had to pare back the power and cut off the entire field and this lane where they go out. So let's hope they're good cows and not wild cows. So I have to undo this and let them out of here. And we'll see what happens. Usually don't do this much. Yeah, they're already figuring out what the heck. Shoot, I can't get this gate as far as I need it to. There we go. All right, well, they're heading out. I don't know where. Okay. All right, that gate. I'm hoping they'll just follow the track of the tractor out to the field. That would be ideal. I'm sort of going. Way to confuse the cows. Come on, keep going. Keep going out. Come on, ladies, out you go. Gonna close them in the lane and the field so they don't surprise me later while I'm using the skid steer. All right, well, they found the bale out there and they're not going too bonkers. Gonna hope that they behave themselves out there, and I'm gonna get the barn clean as quick as I can. I'm also gonna close this gate behind me, such as it is. With the fences not being hot, I don't have any sense of how the cows are going to tolerate the lines or not.
There's a reason athletes are on the.
All right, I'm trying to get the barn clean. The area just outside, the temperature, I don't know what, just outside the barn, the lane is getting very icy because the skid steer tracks just keep churning it. I am making some progress. The cows are kind of behaving themselves in the field. I broke part of the barn with the bucket of the skid steer. It was up too high. I was worried. I was paying too much attention because I was sliding around and not having any traction. And then all of a sudden I turned and whammo, right into the barn. Now I am trying to desperately break through some very icy glop. I think I can get most of this out. Like I said, the cows are kind of behaving. I'm only about a third of the way clean, and this is more difficult than I thought it would be. Still, despite the warm temperatures inside the barn, there is still quite a thick layer of frozen manure and ice at the bottom, and outside the barn I am rapidly turning the ground into ice with the skid steer tracks. So I'm having to go really carefully, and the fact that I am now pissed that I broke the barn. This thing up here, it used to be clear and you could see where the boom was up. Now that it's opaque, sun faded, it's a little bit of a problem. I'm desperately trying to break some manure ice here, and I'm also fighting a water trough that's leaking stops because it just makes more ice when it drips into the barn. I am managing to get some good scoops of this frozen stuff. Pigeon right there. I am up here on top of a ladder, installing the SmaxTex antenna on the outside of this opening. There it is right there. I hope that that's going to be good enough to receive the signal from the barn down below and anywhere out in the field in the yard here once the cows have their boluses. I've decided to go here because this is actually the highest point that I can get to on the farm right now. In fact, I can get, because I can come up here into the hayloft, I can put the antenna up higher than anywhere else I could on the farm. So I'm quite a ways up there. And I'm just gonna get that done. Well, I guess I need these other things. Now I can mount the sending unit, and I want to put it somewhere. I'm thinking that board right there, so that I can find it and put a plug in here somewhere, so it can be permanently wired. That this is always running is going to be key. I may do some other work up here. I'd like to put some floor outlets in here so we'd have these floor lamps that we use for the suppers. Where is it? Right there. We have several, and there's usually a nice corner table right here, so having a floor outlet would be nice for our dining guests. My next thing is to try and figure out where that sending unit can go. To say that it is warmer and that the heifers have stayed in. Touch wood. I'm out walking the dogs first thing. Yeah, so the ringleader Mimsy is in the horse trailer, and she can stay there till she goes away. She seems happy and content. She's not mooing right now. She's just upset she's separated from everybody, but really nothing else we have was containing her. I was a little worried about leaving her in a cattle handling system because it's the same size as the horse trailer, but it's not protected. But she was also trying to escape. So the older heifers here, the 4, are doing great without her, and that's fine. Meanwhile, how about a year update on the new roof? I think they were here. Sorry, I just got tangled in dog leads. I think they were here about a year ago, putting on the new roof, and that had been, we'd gone almost a year with a tarp on the roof because of some severe leaks. And I've had metal roofing on houses before, which is why I chose it. I mean, it's such a great roofing material, and I am so happy that we did it on this house because we haven't had any issues. A little bit of snow piled up over the portico roof and a little bit above the big skylight in our bedroom, but no leaks, nothing. It handled it. We had a weird snow this year. It didn't just all come off the roof right away after it snowed. It stuck around for a few days. And it was a very sticky series of snow and very cold. I don't know. Whoa, ice. Don't know if that's got to do with anything, but come on, pups. Definitely happy we went. Chaos, walking dogs. Definitely happy we went metal. And there's Mimsy. Well, I am down here in itchy ear. I am down here in the shipping container, as you can see, where I have not been working for weeks and weeks and weeks because it's been too cold. It's cold enough that the battery pack that I use, the little Blue Eddy power cube thing I had down here that had been powering the lights and some other stuff, is no longer accepting a charge, probably just because the battery's too cold and it's drained, and I hope I didn't kill it. Because I'm relying on that as a UPS for the pumps. When this is warm, that shouldn't happen, the battery being too cold. So I was actually going to power a temperature monitor that would Bluetooth signal to my phone so I could tell what the temperature was down here on a regular basis. I can't plug that in because the battery cube isn't set. I'm about to start up the kerosene salamander because it's got to go away. My buddy needs it back, and I cannot deny him because he probably wanted to use it this whole time, and I've had it sitting here not doing anything because it's just been too cold. It's got to be, I don't know, it's 20 degrees in here and it's about 40 outside. So I'm going to get that to fire this up and warm this place up a bit. Get all this stuff starting to warm up again. And meanwhile, the reason I got to do that is in order to get the salamander out of here and his pallet jack, I have to move the bundle of firewood that fell over. I had been hoping to stack the two of them in line, but when I came up the ramp with the skid steer, as you recall, it was icy. I slid. Pallet fell off the skid steer, and I didn't have enough traction to get back up and fix it with any kind of mechanization, and then it tipped and spilled. So I had to throw some firewood back in. It was also covered with snow at the time. So I have to empty that bag, and I'm going to stack it right here because I need to move that pallet and create the space in order to get the salamander out and in order to remove the pallet jack that needs to go back to him. It's Wednesday today. I said I was going to use it the rest of the week. I was hoping that it was going to be warm enough, it is today, to be filling the system. I have an hour's worth of work down here to do, to flip a pump and tighten a couple things. I can do the rest of the work while the system is filling. The problem is, it's been in the low 20s or upper teens at night, despite it being well above freezing during the day. I mean, yesterday was 34. The day before, I think, was 36. Today is 40. It's glorious outside. And I want to get this done, just so it's done, so I can get outside and do something outside where it's actually warm in the sunshine. I'm not wearing a coat or anything because it's cold in here, but not out there. So I can't, without being able to run the salamander continually, still fill this because it's going to get too cold at night. Plus, all access points of water into here, in other words, the fresh water line that comes in there, the two water lines that come out of the barn, and the only way of easily getting water into this trailer are frozen. I could find another length of hose and run all the way around the barn and to where I'm coming in now, but I need that and those hoses to run the cow water. The cows have to have access to water. They drain that trough 3 or 4 times a day. I can't not leave them access to water, and by tying up all my hoses just to do this coming around the long way. So I think I'm just gonna wait. It sucks. I want this to get going. It will get going. I want this to heat the place, and so we can unplug all those damn hot water heaters, electrical heaters. But it's warming up, so there's less load on the electrical heaters. It's not as cold. Wind hasn't been as bad. It looks like we're in a mild period, and it's going to last. So I think rather than fighting things, I am going to have to wait until the nights are no lower than the upper 20s. So, just below freezing is okay. I don't think that would hurt anything. Certainly not in here. This would hold whatever temperature with electrical heater I have here. This would hold that temperature, and it would just be the lines that go outside and the ones up into the barn. But if the nights are at the freezing point and the days are much warmer, then this becomes doable. But right now, where things are so cold and I have hoses frozen and I'm having difficulty already watering the cows, I was hoping that I could switch over. I ran a new line out of the barn water where this water for here comes. I ran a new line and activated it, and then of course once I partly filled it with water, if it didn't come all the way out, then it froze. So it didn't come all the way out. Something else, there was a plug of ice in there and somewhere, and it was yesterday I tried, the day before I tried. I may try later today because it is that much warmer. It's another 6 degrees warmer than it was yesterday. So 40 degrees plus and lots of sunshine. So I think I may try. If I can get that going, then I can free up at least this power here. If I can get that going, I can free up at least a 50-foot hose. In here, I don't need. I have the short hose that I need if I can get the water in here running. Yeah. Anyway, so I think I might just have to wait until it's warmer. Once it's warmer, things will be thawed, and those things. Snake this. Yeah, when it's warmer, I can take my time. I can fix the leaks at my own pace. I'm not rushed. I'm not worried about things freezing up. At this point, honestly, I think that is probably the sanest way to go. I know the heating season is largely over, so this whole system becomes kind of redundant at that point, but no, because we're using this for hot water and for pasteurizing milk and other things, so the system will need to run through the summer. It's spending a little bit of electricity to save a lot of electricity, and eventually this will be powered by solar, so it will be a complete renewable energy project. Now, to keep my renewable energy project moving along, I am now about to burn some dinosaurs. So let's see what happens here when this kicks off. Let's stack the wood and clear a path so that the dinosaur burner can go back to my buddy.